For me, it's a good sign that silver hasn't moved yet, and I think it's just a question of time when silver is breaking out above $30. So gold is at 2,300, and if anybody tells me there's no rate cut this year, but gold is at 2,300, I would say, yeah, I take it.
Special coverage of the Deutsche Goldmesse is brought to you by Victoria Gold Corp. Hello and welcome back to Soar Financially. We are here back in Frankfurt at the Deutsche Goldmesse. My name is Kai Hoff and I'm the JR Mining guy on Twitter and the CEO of the Soar Financial Group. Tremendously appreciate you joining us here for this fantastic conversation we have lined up. A good friend of mine joining us here, Markus Bussler, resource journalist over at the Aktionär, Germany's leading financial magazine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Markus, you're wearing so many hats. You're an accomplished book author. You write a newsletter, daily commentator on the website as well. How have you been? How have you been taking the recent move in gold?
Oh, I'm happy. I'm really happy. We waited for this so long, and it's finally here. You can say in your video, we already knew it. It will happen. So now it's here. So yeah, we're good.
Well, our channel is about 3 years old, and we've been predicting it ever since.
Absolutely.
Like we're spot on now. You know, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn.
And now you're shorting it.
Not yet. Not yet. Like I'm the cab driver did last night hasn't talked about mining stocks yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm waiting for that indicator to drop. So, but let's break it down a little bit. We just came off a fireside chat, so I hope this is not too repetitive. But we got to work through the macro first a little bit, try to understand like why did that move happen? Where did it come from? And I think most importantly, why now?
Well, it's overdone. That's the simple answer, because if you go into the detail and say why now, you can't find a really satisfying answer, because it's like we still have positive real rates in the US, we still have a strong dollar, we still have these rate cut might come or might not come, so it's still more in the future than it has been at the beginning of the year. So it hasn't been one really fundamental argument why it comes now, this move in the gold price. And I think it's really about sentiment. It's really about a grade of fear it's in the market. We see very high valuation by many high-tech stocks. And I think smart money is saying, hey, there's an election in fall. We are a little bit scared what will happen there. And this is positioning itself for what might come in the market.
Well, gold has moved about 20-25% since March. That's a very short time period and a very violent move. Yeah. Did like the violence and the power of the move surprise you that we really ran up to 2,400 like so quickly?
It would be easy to say, I knew it, but it would be a lie. So yeah, it surprised me. Yes, it surprised me really. And but this is what the sentiment in a precious metal market is about. It's always going to the extreme. We saw this extreme long period of consolidation, and suddenly you don't get an Avery Gilbert always say, you don't get a second gentleman entry in this market. If it runs, it runs. And this is what we see. We now see a correction, a consolidation, a correction. It might be at some point a really painful move down, so everybody is scared again, and this is just the next button for the next move up, who might be also explosive as it was the last one.
Well, there are a lot of factors you can cite or reasons for the gold price to move. You got geopolitical issues. On the macro side, the US isn't drowning in debt. We have technical breakout as well. Like we've had that cup and handle formation and a 13-year like trend that we broke through. What's your biggest factor for that? Is there one single factor you can make out, or is it just it's all of the above?
I guess it's all of the above. Of course, and I told in the fireside chat, I'm a little bit scared about the election in fall, and I think many people are, because what happens to Europe if Trump says, I don't care about what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and this would be a very bad sign for Europe, because we the number one police in the world says just do what you ever want to do, and we don't care about it. So many people might be scared about this, and I think election is always some turning point in the market, because of course you know what you get from Biden, you know what you get from Trump, but it's not what you expect from the world mightiest nation. Two old guys fighting each other.
Two senile old guys, or at least one of them is senile. We have to talk, like it's Fed week as well. We're at the end of Fed week. It's Friday here, of course, so we've had a couple days to digest what Jerome Powell said. But like, how important is the Fed to you? It didn't really come up in the fireside chat, so I'm curious what kind of importance do you put on that?
Everybody's looking at it, so it's important because everybody cares about it. But what was the message in the Powell speech? It was like the next move probably won't be to the upside, but to the downside. This is something complete other than what we expected at the beginning of the year. As everybody said, there might be 4 rate cuts at the horizon this year. There is no chance for 4 rate cuts now and for the second half of the year. So, but gold doesn't care about it. So gold is at 2,300, and if anybody tells me there's no rate cut this year, but gold is at 2,300, I would say, yeah, I take it.
Absolutely, I would have signed that any day of the week. Like, I'm happy with it. Like, and now we maybe a good segue talking about happy is like maybe performance of the mining stocks. Since March, they've picked up on a year-to-year, like 12-month basis. We're still down 4% on the GDX, for example. Year to date, we're up 10%. But personally, I'm a hodler. I've been positioned for a while now. I'm still underwater. So the performance of the stocks is not really that impressive yet.
Yeah.
Like, how do you rate the performance of the mining stocks?
If you talk about the GDX, we have to talk about the big components in the index, and this is Newmont and this is Barrick, and there's nothing to be excited about Newmont and Barrick over the last couple of years even. So nobody's really happy with this Newcrest takeover from Newmont. Everybody says, well, it might be expensive, and what really nobody understand, I think, is paying the Newcrest shareholders a special dividend, and in the next meeting saying we're cutting the dividends to our existing shareholders, and this is not what you expected as a Newmont shareholder from the number one producer in the world at a gold price of $2,200, $2,300. So I think everybody's a little bit disappointed, and to be fair, Barrick has some problems from the past, fixing one after the other. Beginning acacia mining, you remember this, Tanzania projects bringing back into Barrick, and sorry, I have to hungry through. Then you have these problems with Porchera and PNG, and now you have the problems in Mali. So it's Markus Bussler is like a firefighter running from one fire to the other to bring it down. But it's not what you expect as an investor in a $2,300 gold environment. Agnico is doing a way better job in my eyes.
Number 2 in the world by now. They're producing more than Barrick, by the way. They're the new number 2. They passed them.
No.
Yes.
No.
So they've passed them. They're producing over 4 million ounces, and Barrick is barely scratching that.
How did now?
I'm going to double check because I'm 99% certain that's the case.
Agnico is forecasting 3,200,000 ounces for this year.
Or maybe it's market cap wise. Sorry, maybe it's market cap. By market cap. Sorry, by market cap. Sorry, market cap.
Okay. Agnico is doing a fantastic job in my eyes, but everybody's looking at Newmont and Barrick. Agnico is number 3 in terms of production. And they're doing a great job, but everybody's looking at Newmont and Barrick, and they are. Why should I invest in these companies? They are not moving anywhere over the last.
Like anything that might excite you, maybe financials of the majors. Like, have they improved? Like at $2,300 gold, I would assume free cash flow would have increased. Is that the case?
Free cash flow is picking up, and of course by Newmont it's picking up because we are selling assets over the next couple of months, and so. Yes, we'll pick up. As long as I follow it, I see many companies say the first quarter was our worst quarter of this year, and production will pick up, costs will come down, free cash flow will pick up, of course, if costs coming down and production coming up. So yeah, I think it will, and this gives us some hope that even the GDX or the big components in the GDX are going to move in the right direction.
So we have to wait for Q2 financials to come out to maybe like drive a point across like, hey, we're doing much better?
Could even imagine we should see the Q3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we saw this, just talking about Barrick, and we saw this Pueblo Viejo ramping up, and I think it will take us into Q3 to pick up, and we got problems with Nevada gold mines, and I think this really shifts our focus to the second half of the year.
Interesting, yeah, because I keep looking for potential triggers. It was like, when do the stocks finally move in a way that satisfies me as well? Like,
but you see what could happen if you see this one day Newmont move. It was over 10% of this huge component. Newmont moving on because expectations are so low to the companies, so they can easily jump over it.
Absolutely, I think, but then they give most of it back as well.
Yeah,
but
not all.
Not all of it. On lower volume, which is good.
Yeah.
You want to see that. Fantastic. I'm trying to think, like, should we talk silver or should we stay on the mining stocks? Because we haven't talked silver on stage, but I just want to gauge your some sentiment on silver, because it didn't manage to break out. While gold managed to break out above 20 to 100, silver got pulled back at $30. It's just.
But I tell you what, Kai, this is a good thing. So you will say, why it's a good thing? Because it shows us this bull market in precious metals is in an early stage. Because it's a typical behavior of a precious metals bull market is first gold, then silver is picking up, and then silver taking the role as a leader is in the third. Okay. So for me it's a good sign that silver hasn't moved yet, and I think it's just a question of time when silver's breaking out above $30. And yeah, so it might happen this year. I'm pretty sure it will happen this year. But if you're going to $50, everybody's cheering from a rooftop, and it's probably time to sell.
Absolutely. Maybe just a follow-up question is, like, do you see the fundamentals of silver change at all that could impact price?
I don't see it. I know everybody's talking about industrial demand in silver, and everybody, but expect it to go up 2% or 3%. Does it really care for the silver market? I think the big thing is investors coming back to the silver market. Investor demand is picking up. This will be the game changer for silver. As soon as investors discover silver as a cheap alternative to gold.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question that we've been asked by the audience, which I thought was a really smart question. He said, hey, I'm a newcomer in this space. Like, how do you see this cycle sort of playing out? What phase are we in the cycle? Do you see like a repetition from history? Like, where are we in this cycle? Like, to place a newcomer, like, what can we learn from the past?
I guess there's one, I mean, the history of gold starts at 1970 with Bretton Woods, or end of Bretton Woods. So it's not that long. And first of all, you got this stagflation environment, and you got these 80s where nothing really happens. But I think one time frame you can compare it is the beginning of the 2000s. It was the dot-com bubble burst. We have 9/11, and then suddenly gold starts to run in an environment where also the interest rate was rising, and by the way, also stocks were rising. And this was from 2002 to 2007, and gold goes up from $300 to $900, $1,000, and this is, I think, we are in early stage of a bull run, which might historically, looking back, compared to this one, and it's also. We should see some confidence coming back into this market. People believing this is sustainable, what we see in the gold price, and they have to buy gold producers and exploration and junior companies. They have to do it.
I like that. Maybe I'll use that as the intro quote. You just have to do it. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Like, our sector is so unloved. I don't understand it. It's painful.
It's because of these old gray men like me are still here. So we need younger people coming back. Something cool. Now we are joking, but this is really, it's not like old men or young men, but we need something cool in the sector, and nothing is really cool about mining something in the earth. So it's everybody is like, oh yeah, we have got a green. What?
Yeah, I was like, you get a green battery or EVs it out of it. Yeah, green revolution.
A green revolution, right? That's what I'm looking for. a green revolution, and you see these guys digging for gold in the ground, and then you're like, it's not a green revolution. So we really need something new. We need maybe an Elon Musk of the mining sector, or anything like that.
Somebody hip and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. The question is now, you write a newsletter as well, so of course it's a very unthankful job and it's brutal. But where do you seek returns these days?
Our seek returns in first of all in the producer side. Producers are still unloved, cheap, printing money. This even if they got worse numbers like Barrick. Barrick putting out production numbers like we produced 940,000 ounces, and everybody was like, what? Really? The worst numbers for I don't know how many years, but they're still printing money at this because the gold price is so high. You can't do anything wrong. So nobody really realized this. I told it on stage. It's probably the fault also of the analysts. They're doing the math at the beginning of the year. They say we're calculating a gold price of $1,900, and they don't keeping up with the gold price going up. So expectations, as I said, mentioned, very low. So it's easily to beat them, and this is what companies do.
Like, how do you rate like companies that have extremely high all-in sustaining costs? Like, are those like those optionality plays on the gold price? Is that something you look at? Like, where do you
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not looking at McEwen Mining or some other companies like. You might look also have all-in sustaining costs like Equinox Gold, coming down with the Greenstone project coming to commercial production this year, in the second half of the year. This might be a game changer for them. This is a story you're interested in, yeah. But I'm not interested in story they just trying to survive over the last couple of years and now saying, hey, we are back in the win with 1 cent per share. No, that's not what I'm looking right now.
Yeah. Like, what would make you come back into the junior explorers? Companies, let's say, below 50 million market cap that are just maybe even pre-resource. What would that take? Like, besides of high gold price, but what do you need to see?
Yeah, first of all, they all need money. You have to capitalize. Yeah, you don't need money.
They need money.
To make a really good drill program, and you only get the people excited by hitting something big. And if you get a 50 million company or that 20 million company and you don't hit anything, well, why exist?
Yeah. Well, there's too many that exist.
Yeah.
Despite not hitting anything,
Yeah.
they're still alive.
Yeah. and still extracting money from different sources.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. People investing in such companies, they never hit anything. So people or investors are frustrated and don't come back to the sector. And this takes away money from the sector, takes away money from companies they are worth financing. And these worthless companies should disappear. Yeah. It sounds cruel, but it's the truth.
Yeah. In Germany, there's a saying, Blüten des Marktes. I'm not sure, like the flowers of the market. I'm not sure that saying exists in English. I don't think it does.
Probably not.
But take unders. Like I was going to talk about, we've seen a couple like mergers and acquisitions this week. One of them definitely seemed like a take under, like where companies just threw up their hands. It's like, okay, just buy us.
Yeah.
Right. And are you seeing more of that? Is that the result? Should we see more of them?
I think so. Maybe it's also a future of the junior sector is one junior merging with the other junior, like I mentioned it, Integra and Millennium Precious Metals, which really might give in the future a value to shareholders. And if two projects close to each other, why not merge it?
Huh.
So what's the worth of paying two CEOs, two chairmen?
It's like one question I asked that like half a year ago on the channel as well. It feels like the egos of the CEOs have softened.
Yeah.
It's taken a while. It's taken 2 years of really bad market.
They are frustrated.
And they're frustrated.
Yeah.
Like before they say, like, well, I want to stay CEO. I'm not doing this merger.
Yeah.
Right now, there's like, just take it. And it seems like they give up. Right?
Because maybe pressure from shareholders is rising over the last couple of years because they say, hey, we give you money, we participate in your last financing. What are you doing? Drilling 2 holes? You're kidding me?
Yeah. Now, sector consolidation, like area consolidation. I've heard rumors about just areas consolidating.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, we don't need 3-4 juniors. Let's just turn it into one.
Yeah.
So we're happy to see that. Markus, any closing remarks? Like, where do you see gold price end the year?
Oh, that's. I hate this question.
I know.
Everybody hates
it's
this
an unfair
but
question.
I think it's
Stock trend, like
we are
where's it headed?
at time we are talking. We are $2,300. I think we will see at least $2,500, $2,600 this year. If it's the end of the year, I don't know. Maybe it's another correction at the end of the year. But I think we see higher gold prices over the year. And what for the viewers most important is we see higher prices for junior mining companies and even for producers.
Fantastic. Markus, thank you so much for coming out. I always appreciate you having here and the chats. I love our conversations. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation here at the Deutsche Goldmesse in Frankfurt. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Always looking for constructive feedback as well. Leave that down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back with lots more here from Frankfurt.